A specific question, a step point, a decision you've been sitting with too long. The 90-minute strategy call is a focused hour and a half one-on-one work with me. Pricing, niche, messaging, referrals, boundaries, whatever is alive in your practice right now, we work it together. You leave with a plan, no more confusion. Direct, focus, real strategy you can act on this week. Details at privatepaypractitioners.com. All right, let's get to the show. Hey y'all, it's DJ, and I'm back for another Private Pay Practitioners Premium episode, and I have another fabulous guest. Amanda Chenkin is here. Hello, Amanda.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you're here because you're here to talk to us about something that ain't nobody talking about. But before we get in there, Amanda is a licensed professional counselor and a certified career counselor based in Baltimore, Maryland. Hello. I know we have several private pay practitioners up in that area, so that's fabulous. She specializes in career trauma and sits on the board of directors and trustees for the National Career Development Association. Welcome.
Thank you. Yes, I'm excited to be here.
Yes. And, you and I connected because we want to talk about career trauma.
Yes.
Now, the people probably hadn't heard about it. They can probably figure out what it is, but I want you to tell
Mhm.
us.
Yeah, so we know the definition of trauma, right? Um, and that trauma happens at work. So when we think about the environments we're in, workplace dynamics, um, pay and position, um, right, boundaries, expectations, all of those things can lead to trauma in our career. Um, so, you know, we know that um not being able to meet basic survival things like shelter, food, um, those kinds of things can be traumatic, right? Those add to trauma. So if we are chronically underpaid in a job, well, that might be career trauma.
Yeah.
Um, right? Not being able to access better pay, that could be career trauma. Experiencing bullying, harassment, macro and microaggressions, the isms in the workplace, right? Like those happen outside the workplace and they happen in work, in career, and could be labeled career trauma potentially.
Okay. Well, before we go any further, I'll just say I am a career trauma survivor.
Me too. Me too.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So your practice is built around supporting folks who have experienced career trauma.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Tell us about how your practice is set up.
Mm,
Is that virtual? Is that in person? And then also, as a career counselor, or I imagine that you are private pay.
yes. So I do in person and virtual uh uh client sessions. Being located in Baltimore, I've got a nice little I share an office suite with a great pack of therapists who are all private pay, and
Yay.
we share a little suite. It's amazing. Um and so yeah, so I do that. I've built my practice. I've never really I've there was like a micro moment when I accepted insurance as I was trying to transition. Um, and because my work is so integrated, right? Like career work is also mental health work. But insurance companies don't see it that way, right? Career counseling is a Z code if you look at the ICD-10. And so I built my practice as private pay because I did not need anyone coming after me, even though I could make the case for medical necessity, right?
Right. Right.
Um, I was just not going to be worth my while. And having been chronically underpaid for my work for a lot of my career, um, building a private pay practice is my way of being able to earn the money that allows me to be able to live my life.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so important, and I'm glad you mentioned that about the Z code. Um, the insurance companies, they just don't care, right? It's
Mm-mm.
just like insurance not paying for couples therapy. Like, why? Why not?
Mhm.
Crazy stuff. So people find you when they are experiencing what kind of symptoms, what kind of place in their life are they saying, "Hey, Amanda, I need help."
Yeah, so, a lot of times it's I'm feeling stuck.
Okay,
Like,
I've
I
heard that
don't know, like,
before.
something in life, like, I feel stuck, I've been stuck for a long time, I don't know how to make a change. And sometimes it's a big change, right? But a lot of times it's a little change, when it comes to particularly being stuck in paid work or career, that can look a lot of different ways, um, you know, and given the current system in which we are trying to operate, sometimes we can't leave our job.
Right.
So we're navigating living the potential trauma day to day, right? Like if I'm forced to go to the office when really I could telework, but trying to change jobs doesn't I for a lot for lots of reasons, I can't really do it. Like for a lot of people right now, it's benefits. I
Yes,
get
that's a huge
healthcare,
one.
right?
Right.
So if I make a move, am I gonna have healthcare as good as the next place? So when people come to find me, they're just swirling in this space of like something I'm done, I'm burnt out, like something needs to change. I feel stuck. So we're not really labeling it like people again, right? Like career trauma, people are like, huh? But if I've been laid off, so the other thing that people might come to me is because they've been laid off, right?
Okay.
Which might be traumatic for folks, right? That could be labeled a
Yes.
career trauma. Um, and like, what do I do? Right? Like or I've been working and I'm stuck and like something's gotta shift. And usually in there, it's not always trauma. But there's often flavors and elements.
Yeah, yeah. So, would you say your work is integrated? Like
Mhm.
you're not having a separate career counseling session versus a mental health counseling session, or are you?
Um, yes and no. So it depends
Okay,
on the
tell us.
client, right?
Okay,
So my love, like the work that I really enjoy doing is that integration. Um, and that and when we talk about it maybe being separate, um, career counseling, I'm probably still using a mental health lens as we navigate like um, a job search. So again, I live in this very gray space. Um, and oftentimes people will come to me and say, like, I have a therapist already. I need the career piece. Okay. So we outline the scope and a lot of times there's overlap. So I'm really clear about like when overlap happens, what we can do. Um, but career counseling is more than resumes. It really is getting underneath to what's my story, what's my vision, how is it integrated into my life, right? Like it's so not separate from
mm,
life. Like we
no,
live in a
yeah, you're
world
right.
where they truly are together. How often are we like at home thinking about work things that need to be done and vice versa? So, when somebody comes to me, I'm very clear about what their goals and expectations are. And with that, then we may have a separation and just do the career work. And if we're bumping up against like anxiety, for example, right? And they already have a therapist, we might, we might have that conversation. Um, but I'm also aware enough. I'm using a mental health lens when we're,
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
But if If they don't have another therapist, then I could see where you could support them in addressing the anxiety piece
Mhm.
as well as the career piece. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, so the folks that come to me that tend to be longer term, we are doing the mental health and the career, right? So, like, for example, I've had someone come to me and it was like a career thing, right? Like, I need to leave my job, um, and I've got anxiety and ADHD and, like, all of these things are impacting my job, and so it was a real blend, and so we kinda worked through the job piece, and then we, ended able to and to do that, we also needed to address, um, things around ADHD and less about executive functioning. She was like, "Amanda, I've got the tools. I need help with the emotional components." So that's how we kinda work through those pieces, and that's longer term, right?
Yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
love this. I mean, where have you been my whole career? But listen, like so many of my clients are sitting with me and I'm like referring them to like, trying to find career counselors. And now I know one.
Yes, and I
Um
can help you find more.
yes. Yes. And with career counseling, I you don't have to be in the same state. Is that correct?
That is correct. So career counseling is not a protected title like the word counselor. Um, so just like coach, anyone can throw up a shingle and say, "I'm a career counselor." That being said, um, like, I have a counseling degree, I am a counselor, and career counseling is, like, a part of that. Um, and I specialized in grad school in it, and so, like, career counseling to me, like, you do want somebody who's got some experience and
Yeah.
education, um, uh, because career counseling is not a protected title like the word counselor. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just need more education around it, right? I'd rather work with someone who's maybe done some grad school work and maybe has a therapy license as well versus someone who just rolled over and said, hey, I'm going to try this out because I've been successful with resume writing. you know, uh,
Yeah.
maybe that's the thing. Maybe they're great, but I rather sit with somebody else. And so when you are out in the world and you are marketing your services, where do you tend to land? Is it the career counseling? Is it the mental health? Is it the integration?
Um, I tend to be more career counseling, like, so when I'm networking, because the career counseling part can be a really great adjunctive service.
Yeah,
And so in terms of just, like, business and building a business, that has been where I have found, kind of a niche.
yes.
And when people kinda, like, find me online, that's kinda where I get my integrated folks because my website speaks to that.
Yes. It's
Um
beautiful, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it was something I chose to invest in when I was starting my business. I did not write that copy. I invested in someone to do that for me.
I heard that.
We worked very closely together, and they were very good at taking what I was trying to say and putting it on a web page, so I am very grateful to them.
Yes.
Um, so, yeah, so as a business strategy, it is selling the career counseling piece as an adjunctive service, um, to other folks in the area.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Now, I'm seeing these private pay prices on your website. Talk to us about it. What to tell the people what they're maybe not seeing right now? Because 'cause I've seen some prices, I'm like, "Ooh, that's an investment."
It is an investment. So actually, as of July 1st, I raised my rate $10. So I was
Yay!
225, I went up to 235. That's my hourly rate. And then, geez, I spent probably a couple years. So in the coaching world, packages are like a big thing, right?
Yes.
And I was like, that doesn't feel quite right to me. And then I was working with a business coach, and it kind of occurred to me that I could do hourly plans, right? So people can purchase a bulk set of hours. I sell them in 3, 6, and 12-hour blocks. And then we co-create how you want to use those hours. Because I personally am a fan of extended sessions.
Yeah.
90-minute, 2-hour, so intensives is, as the word du jour, intensive style, right? Like, because we can a lot of times, if we're just doing the career counseling piece, it is shorter term work. So, if we can get in like 2 or 3 90-minute sessions, kind of get you through a piece of stuck on your way, then that is great. So those investments, those prices reflect, just being able to purchase a bunch of hours in bulk. Um, they give a little discount, um,
Okay.
but they are meant for people who are like, "Yep, I'm, like, totally ready to jump in, um, and get moving."
Well, that's great. I mean, I think it's great when you can structure your business, your prices, your packaging, however you need it to be, and also be beneficial to the potential client,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Whether how much you charge and how often you charge, or whatever that looks like. So this is really great. Um, I love how, like, for instance, you have like 12 hours of one-to-one career counseling. That sounds intense, but
Mhm.
that's not all in one day, right?
Right. It it can be like 8 90-minute sessions, and we can spread those over a couple of months. Um, uh, you know, some I really value being able to, like, customize and individualize something,
Mhm.
with clients, and so because some there are cl I do have some clients who really just like hourly, one like, once a week, once every 2 weeks. They tend to be more my mental health folks, um, and that's great, that's what works for them. They have the option to buy a plan, but they're like, "Nope, I'm just good, like, I just want the hour," um, and then the plans are for folks who are like, "I wanna kinda get in and get out," in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When they have something short term that they're looking forward to. Someone reached out to me today, not a client, but they said, "Hey, I got an interview today."
Mhm.
And they told me they had 700 applicants. He's like, "I'm praying." I was like, "You
Mhm.
got this," right? Because they bumped everybody and put you in the front. You got it because you
Mm.
knew somebody, right?
Oh, yes, that's
And
great.
so, yeah, that's short term, right? If they were going to do some career counseling, some career coaching, that's probably short term work, right?
Mhm.
But then I do have clients who maybe have lost jobs or are looking to make a shift. That's more longer term work, I think,
Mhm.
because they don't know what they want to do.
Yeah, and sometimes it not knowing what you wanna do is longer term. Sometimes, I mean, there are some really great interventions and models to help kind of, move that along. So I love a narrative approach. I
Okay.
love storytelling, and there's a really great, narrative intervention tool called the career construction interview. And it's comes from a career development theory called, career construction, although I think more recently the name has changed. It's evolved, but when I learned it, it was the career construction theory. The person who developed it, his name is Mark Savickas. Um, anyway, so it's an intervention that gets at, our agency and efficacy, um, kind of how we're um what's important to us, how we're viewing a potential transition, like our script, um,
Yeah.
and it really gives the opportunity to write a new script, and it can be done within a few sessions. So that's the other part is I love talking to other clinicians because all like none of this is like rocket science. Um and we don't if you go to a counseling program, you get one career development course. If you go to a social
Yes.
work program, you probably don't get any. Yeah. So we don't as a profession treat it as um as important as it is. And how many times have you had a client come in and talk about how work is affecting their mental?
Every single last one of them, and then they be wanting you to fill out paperwork
Yeah.
because they need to take a sabbatical, they need to take a break because these places be running people ragged.
Yeah. So I also really love just doing like consultations with clinicians because I can like there are tools that w- align really well with counseling models and theories that you're probably already using. Like career construction aligns really well with ACT.
Okay.
Um, so right, like, I just think of them as, like, overlays, like, there's layers, and as we conceptualize clients, it's just another set of tools in the toolbox as we work with clients.
Course, yeah. And I love that you just have it on your website. Like you do consultations with therapists. You have it already set up there and it's a paid consultation, people. Um
Yes.
d- uh, yes, don't be calling Amanda talking about a free consultation. It's a paid consultation. Okay. I think that's fabulous to just call that out, right?
Mhm.
I just noticed you had a dog behind you.
Oh, yeah, that's my, I call him that's my supervisor,
Oh,
um,
okay.
and his name is Leon, and he chooses to sleep through all of my
Leon.
sessions.
Listen, I thought it was like a blanket. And then he moved. I was like, "Oh,
No,
that's
it's his
funny."
afternoon nap time.
Yes, I understand. This is fabulous. So I do have some questions for you.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Now, you've been a member of the private pay community for how long?
Ooh, well, probably since 2022. So,
Really?
2022 is when I made we moved across country back to our home state of Maryland, and so that's when I took advantage of building a practice basically from scratch,
Mhm.
and so I was trying to get into all the private pay things I could,
Yeah.
um, and a colleague of mine suggested it.
I love when people get referrals to my group. Okay, so 2022, maybe you came in.
I think so.
Now it is 2026. You have seen some things, right? So the people in the group are burning out and spinning out. Not everybody, but some of them, right? Because the insurance, some of them are still hanging on to the insurance. They really feel like the insurance is like going to get them what they need. And,
Mhm.
part of my work is like, here's the mirror, right? What are you getting? Kind of reflecting that back. And people are holding on, I think, sometimes for dear life. What would you
Mhm.
say to a therapist who's coming to you saying, I don't know what to do with
Yeah.
like making this pivot?
Yeah, into private pay. Well, there may be some bits of like um, are we having some reenactments happening in terms of trying to hold on to something that's not serving us? Also, from a systemic level, like we can each, do our own thing, and are we collectively trying to advocate for ourselves and change the systems? Um, I think something that I've always been curious about, and I haven't dabbled a ton into this, is right, it's really hard for us to unionize because we're all so independent.
It ain't gonna happen. It's against the law.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate. Um, but how can we change our systems? And one way is to opt out of the insurance system, and we can still make our work accessible, right? So I think an argument I hear a lot is like being accessible to people.
Yes.
right? Especially when people find out what I do, they're like, "Oh, why aren't you like, why are why do you cost so much?" I'm like, "Well, hold on. Um, I do things in other parts of my life that um help, like where I provide services, right? Like I'm part of my national association. And actually, if you want some freebie learning stuff, I've done some podcasts and webinars over at the National Career Development Association. And so if you're a member, like you get that stuff for free.
Nice.
Um, right. And like with clients, like I hold a space or two for pro bono. Being in Maryland, the decimation of the federal government has a huge hit on us, right? And so I did open up a couple extra spots to work with folks from there. So I think there are ways, and not everyone can do pro bono. I
And not everybody
fully
can do it.
recognize that.
Absolutely.
Um, and there are ways that we can creatively be accessible,
Yes.
um, while still saying like, well, this is what I think my what we're exchanging time and knowledge, right? For money. And so this is what I comfortably, you know,
That's what you
can do.
need. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you can figure out a way to provide, to give back, you know? So, 1, I heard, "Stay out of your colleagues' pockets." Because I ran a whole series on stay out of your clients' pockets, but stay out of your colleagues' pockets because you don't know what I'm doing over here to help, ease the tension. Um, but there's just people out here just like holding on for dear life, and I feel it. I feel it. The energy shifts, I'm like, "Y'all in the private pay group, we supposed to be focusing on the private pay, and you leave in the insurance companies." And I think the way that we, create change is, 1, we leave the broken systems, and 2, we tell the clients about why we're leaving the broken systems.
Mhm.
There's just so many people not willing to be transparent with their clients about the struggle that they're having getting paid,
Mhm.
which
Right.
I don't understand.
Well, because I mean, I don't understand it, and when I think about it like an explanation, right? So, career trauma can also is often very intertwined with financial trauma.
Mm,
And so when we're thinking about like, insurance and like this is what I've been like this is the belief system that I have been handed, and oh my gosh, am I going to do something totally different? Like we're asking ourselves to like leave something that's safe even when it's not good for us or
yeah.
not helpful to us. Um and so yeah, thinking about leaving insurance, and that it doesn't have to be all or nothing, right? Like there can be like a spectrum, and that you do need to do what's best for you. Um, so how can you just like start the process of untangling the stuff, that the emotional stuff, so that you can figure out what the best path is for you. Um,
Right.
because there
Yeah.
are many. We don't all have
Sure.
to do it the same way.
And I think we all do it differently.
Mhm.
I did something that I would never recommend somebody do. And that was just like I said, well, F y'all. And I left. And didn't have enough money to make it make sense. But I felt like I was drowning. So it's like I had like jump off this damn boat, and try to swim. And that's what I did. And
Mhm.
thankfully, I survived, right? And I've been able to put out some lifelines for so many, in many different ways. And so that's what I try to just sit with the people. And sometimes I ask them, I was like, what would you say to a client who was in a similar situation? And you see the looks on their faces. They're like, oh,
Mhm.
that part. Like yeah, you wouldn't tell them to just sit there and take it.
Right.
You hopefully not. If you're a good damn therapist, you would not.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think these are conversations that we have to keep having, because it's hard out there. It truly is right now.
Mhm.
And the clients are struggling, the therapists are struggling, and the insurance companies are doing great.
Yeah. Yeah.
That should tell you something.
Mhm. I do hope, uh, and I think that this is me having to hold on to some shred of something, because I can be very cynical, um, but I think we are at a moment in time where kind of the population as a whole, or maybe eyes are starting to really become open to how these systems have just been crushing us for, well, since the beginning.
Since the
Um,
beginning.
and so who they are built to serve, and they're, built to serve shareholders. Um, and so I think this is even where, like, maybe I can't, you know, I'm I can't quite get off insurance panels, but, like, I could do some advocacy work, right? Like, I can get
Yes.
involved in, like, some other places that help elevate, my profession, right? Like, recently there was, well, I've already put it out of my mind, but, the feds were wanted to make a rule where counseling social work were not professional degrees, right? And so it took 2 minutes to submit public comment on that. That's a form of advocacy and a form of action we can take as maybe we're trying to figure out, like, how do I leave insurance, or untangling all of those things for ourselves.
Mhm. And I get it. It's overwhelming. Sometimes there's, like, too many options,
Mhm.
right? And I think we can get paralyzed, these systems, they're meant to try to confuse us,
Mhm.
and keep us stuck, just like the clients. The client's like, "I gotta use my insurance." I hear you, but your provider might not get paid,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm. And I think we've something that I've been really struck by, and it's, I think, like, early on, was that, um, kind of the opposite of, like, what if I fail? Like, what if I succeed? Like, there are lots of people out there who understand and who are willing to pay. Um, Sometimes they just need to, like, well, they just need to know that you're there. Um, and, the idea of, like, marketing, again, hits into maybe some of our trauma, our money stuff, the things we've been told about, like, what may or may not be acceptable ethically. Um, but, we can figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. I've had people on the show who say, that colleagues have said, "Well, you can't do private pay in this area,"
Oh, mhm.
or "This city, it won't support a private pay therapist." And I'm just like, "Why are you making this shit up?"
Right?
I'm serious though, because I just wanna, like, shut up. Like, stop telling other people what they can't do. Stop
Mhm.
blocking my gifts and my, success because maybe you tried and had a problem with it.
Yeah. Or, yeah, you tried, maybe it didn't work, and people get to decide where they wanna put their money, right? So, like, as a client, if I think this is valuable enough, uh, maybe I'm gonna put my money towards it. Um,
Right.
and, living not far from DC, 45-minute train ride, um, there can be little flavors of that in my area, um, and, like, the I proximity to other big cities, is helpful, but, I had heard little sprinklings of, like, "Oh, up here, maybe not so much," and I'm like, "Actually, like, it's kind of okay." I think it also helps that if you Google me, um, in the Baltimore area, I'm the first, and I'm not sure if I'm the only, but I'm definitely the first, because not a lot of people do what I do.
Yeah.
So, that's a little bit different, but, Yeah, like, people get to decide how they wanna spend their money, so it's kinda up to us to show them give the education as to why it's important.
Absolutely, because I don't know how you market. I don't know if you do market. I don't know how much money you spent on your, latest efforts to attract clients, right? We would have to get into the weeds
Mhm.
to try to compare,
Exactly.
and I just don't have time for that. So let me go out and make the mistake, right? But
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with as much information as I can. And I'll say this, when I started this private pay thing, I didn't have any information. I had none. I didn't know anybody who was doing private pay in Seattle. I had not even heard of it. But all I know was the people in my corner were saying, you can't take insurance anymore because you are losing everything.
Mhm.
Like you're working, you're like 30, 40 hours a week. You're losing money because 6 months from now, they take it back.
Yeah.
And I could just track the reasons why, right? Somebody forgot to pay a premium. There was an error code. There was blah, 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 right? And it was just like, I can't live like that. And so it's just like, okay, I'm just going to take cash. But it still wasn't like private pay. There was no name around it. And I
Right.
can't I can't even tell you how I came to private pay practitioners. I don't know. I don't know. It something changed one day and I went on Facebook and typed it in. I don't know, but it's been 10 years,
Mm. Yeah, that's a
right?
long time.
A long time, right? So, I the universe led me here,
Mhm.
right? And so I try to trust my instincts, and I'm not always right, and I'll definitely say when I'm wrong, but I'm just out here trying to help the people and finding people like you and others who wanna come on the show and just share a piece of your experience to help us grow, on this journey, and I just wanna thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I feel really similarly and strongly about, like, us being able to, you know, collectively fight the system, I guess. Um, my background, I've mostly worked before taking practice all the way was nonprofit and education, higher education, and those are also incredibly toxic work environments.
Really?
We are some of the worst. The helpers in general, I think, are some of the worst, offenders of toxic
My
workplaces,
goodness.
which I think contributes as a when we're trying to set out to private pay, to, like, become on our
Yeah.
own, we've had all of these, um,
Messages.
messages around how we're supposed to not want money, right? Like, all of those things. Um, so yeah, so I'm with you. Thank you for having me on to let me kind of stand with you and say, like, "We can do this."
Yes. Today I'm wearing a shirt that I designed. It says, "Every act of change started with someone fed the F up."
Oh, I love that. Are those for sale on your website?
I'll send you the link. Um, it's on my Zazzle store. No, it was something my therapist told to me many, many years ago. And I went home and I went on, one of them sites that you can make a mug or something. And I put
Mhm.
it on the mug and I took it to him.
I love that.
And then I put it on a t-shirt years later because it still stands.
Mhm.
It still stands.
It's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm here today and you're here today. And I'm just like, I love it. This fills me up to be able to give everyone all the information that I can find to support
Mhm.
them in their private pay journey. So, Amanda, thank you so much for being here today. Can you please let the audience know where to find you?
Yes, thank you. So my website is choicecareercounseling.com. Um, and then if you want to email me, you are welcome to email me, which is amanda@choicecareercounseling.com. Um, all my information, is out there. I'm happy to chat, direct. You mentioned earlier, like, I wish I knew career counselors. While there aren't very many of us, I do happen to know a lot of them. If I'm not a good resource, I'm always happy to try and get connected to other resources.
Awesome, awesome. I'm so glad to know you. I hope that, you come back sometime. Anytime you want to share something, an update, a product, a service, whatever it is, because we need everything. So,
Thank you.
Amanda, thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Folks, I have been DJ Burr, founder of Private Pay Practitioners and the host of Private Pay Practitioners Premium Podcast. Make sure y'all come on back next time. I'm going to have another fabulous guest. If you're looking for ongoing support, resource drops, monthly group coaching, and a real community of therapists building private pay practices, the Private Pay Practitioners Premium on Patreon is where the deeper work happens. We have 4 tiers available, details at patreon.com/privatepay.